What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tuck Notes. I'm Tucker, and tonight's topic is Tesla stock. And so, going over my notes, coming up in Tesla stock is important news that came out yesterday. We'll go over the recent sales that Elon Musk did with his shares, and we're going to watch a video from the CEO of Ford talking about Tesla and why Ford has been performing one of the best performing stocks out of all the stocks this year. It was up 143%. So anyways, back to Tesla. Tesla closed at $933.40 on Friday. And we talked about the day before about the price action and that we could see some of Elon potentially selling. And so when I saw it throughout the day, I could tell, it was him. But it's hard too, because some could be short people. But he sold off some of his shares, and later on we'll talk about how much shares he sold off and how it could affect the stock price. Also, we're going to talk about some technical analysis and why and when the gap that we talked about had to get filled up between 900 and 950. It's getting filled up pretty close to almost full. The overall stock market on Friday was not that great. Tesla was up. The banks were down. Healthcare was down. And so going back to going over Elon Musk and how much he sold of his transactions, he sold Tesla at $969.83 and at $935.39. He's left with about 300 million shares, which is about 25 to 30% shares remaining. And don't forget about Kathy Woodson. And we believe that he'll be done selling all of his shares by the end of the year. So another thing to look out at is that Elon's selling his shares. We're going to have, there is some insider buying, which is an insider trading, and they're just buying people from the company, and they're buying Tesla stock right now. And so as he's selling. So some top news that happened, we're going to change the subject a little bit, is that Tesla is facing a lawsuit right now over Elon Musk's tweet about should I sell 10% of my stock sale. And if you remember back a while, I'm going to read part of this part because it gets tricky. So I'm sorry. But Elon had about if he could sell the 10% of his shares. So if he sold his shares, now investors are suing him. So the main thing to look out is this lawsuit. But back in 2018, Elon Musk settled with the SEC over tweets on taking the company's private agreeing to have the company's lawyer pre-approved tweets with material information about the company. Recent tweets that he did a poll, if you remember that he came to significantly affect the stock price, of course. And when he sells, the stock price can definitely fluctuate up and down. Now, they're suing him. If he did follow up on this with the 2018 settlement with the SEC? So what I said is very confusing, but it's extremely important, very, very, very important. So the lawsuit was filed in Delaware, seeks to obtain records and books related to his tweets, including documents to identify whether stocks sale tweets were reviewed or pre-approved in advance. So this is important because he agreed to do that back in 2018 with the SEC settlement. Stock prices are not fluctuating up and down. Stock prices are not fluctuating up and down. Tesla stock really did not react much. Another story was JP Morgan suing Tesla over $150 million worth, talking about Tesla's privacy rights or something. I don't know. So now Ford stock is up 134% this year. And basically what's catching everyone's eyes as watching out is the EV expand of Ford. So far they've produced 25,000 EV vehicles. And so the CEO came out and talked about it and his plans and what he wants to do to expand and what they think about Tesla Ford. And after the video, we're going to go over technical analysis and some key price points to be on the lookout for. So with that, here's the video.
At least on Twitter with Mr. Elon Musk. I saw that you congratulated him. You were very gracious to congratulate him for being named Times Man of the Year, even though you got Motor Trend Man of the Year. And you said you really set an example for us. Can you catch up and beat Tesla?
Well, the first inning of this 9-inning game is for us to get to 600,000. We think that'll put us in number 2. And then with Tennessee and Kentucky, we really have a chance to get to number 1. It'll depend on the acceptance of those models. That's a couple years away. So it really is on us to execute the products, for them to be received as our first 3 have, and then to scale. A lot of uncertainty, but I wouldn't bet against a Ford team. I really admire Tesla and Elon for what they've done. And it's clearly showed that an always-on relationship with the customer is where this industry is going. Not just propulsion going electric, but actually having a digital relationship with the customer. And I'm very thankful for that. But we're competitors, and I race, and second is the first loser. So we're gonna go for it, and but we'll see how it goes. It'll be a couple of years away.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen, you should see some of the photos of Jim Farley behind some of those vintage race cars. You do genuinely race. Let me talk about another competitor, though. The analysts tell me that you probably will produce more electric vehicles this year than General Motors. Can you stay ahead of GM?
Well, they're certainly ramping up, but we have 3 high-volume successes on our hands. So it will come down to that agile team really breaking those constraints. Hard to say, but we sure count on it. We think we'll be number 2 for some time to come in the U.S. and obviously aiming for number 1. But they're ramping up. They have a lot of new models coming up. I wouldn't bet against Ford. The Mach-E, is very successful globally. And we have America's best-selling vehicle for 45 years now, the F-150 that's going electric. That's a pretty strong brand, and the product is very well received, so I wouldn't bet against Ford.
Fair enough. Also, a lot of us are contending right now with COVID and the various variants are coming, whether it's Delta or Omicron or whatever. How is that affecting your operations, your production operations?
Well, it's having an impact. Our vaccination rate on our white collar team is about 85%. We have protocols in our plants that we've been operating for 2 years. They've held up really well. I'm very proud of our team and their safety record. What we're seeing now is impacts on our supply base, where we're having trouble finding labor. And once absenteeism gets above 20%, we start to see interruption on parts shipments. So we are starting to see more and more, actually, the last couple of months, disruptions. Nothing that's really gating us right now. What's gating us is the chips. But it's getting harder and harder to scramble every day to make our production because of some of the absenteeism we're starting to see.
So that's a pretty good indicator and giving you guys a clue on what's going on with Ford. And those chips, I tell you, is a great reason to make the stock price go down for some of the companies. Seen it before, and I know you have too. So this is the point where I go, and I'm asking you sincerely, if you guys, if you girls or guys like these videos, please, and you find them helpful, please subscribe to my channel. I've been saying this, and and people have been subscribing to my channel, and a lot of views, and I want to thank you guys so much for that. So, as we can see, if I had a computer filling the gap between 9:30 and 9:09, there's a slight reversal starting to happen. Ideally, if we can stay above $900, we could potentially go back and retest at 1,000 by the end of the year. So $900 is really an important price point to watch out for Tesla. And it's a psychological one too, like I mentioned in my previous video, the number, because many people want to buy it at 900, or there's a lot of people that have stop losses that might get executed. So these are all catalysts to keep your eye on for the $900. But the short-term price target is between $900 and $950. I know, if Elon can finish selling his shares while we consolidate, we could see, it go back up to $1,000 by the end of the year, and that's being super bullish. But still, if you're watching this movie, you are kicking ass, because you can still break down to 875 if Elon Musk sells and the overall stock market starts to shift downward in a downward direction, and getting more news about this new variant. You never know what could happen. And downward 72 hours. And so anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's long, but I love you guys, and thank you so much for everything. Good night.